Morning everybody, welcome back to Sandy Bottom Homestead. And I know what you're thinking. I'm just going to get right into it. Is what's the earliest I can plant, Ben? Just tell me. What's the earliest I can plant? I'm ready. It's getting a little bit warm. I got the itch, you know. And it's a really big loaded question that I get on this channel a lot and on our podcast, the Backyard Gardens podcast. We get these questions like this all the time, and it is a loaded question, but I'm gonna try and break it down for you as best as I can today. Now, there is gonna be one option that we're not gonna get too far into, and all of this depends on how far you're willing to go. But if you're willing to build a structure and keep it at 50 degrees, you can plant whenever the hell you want. There it is. So if that's what you wanna do, see ya. But most of us don't have that option, nor are we willing to go to those lengths to grow some of these foods. And this is something that we talk about a lot, and that I'm really press upon people is like, grow the right vegetable for the right time of year. I can't tell you enough. If you want to be successful and you want it to be easier, grow the right vegetable. So I came out here over the weekend and I planted broccoli, a whole bed of broccoli, and we're going to give it the old college try, and we're going to get in there and we're going to see what happens. And wouldn't you know, as soon as I planted it, we had a windstorm. Go figure. So it is what it is, but you know, this is part of it. You know, we've got to talk about the weather. You've got to talk about temperatures. And that's a big part of this whole conversation, because that's what we're doing, right? And I still stand extremely firm in the fact that your zone doesn't give a hill of beans about what you can grow or when, but what it does tell you, or what does tell you that, is what your temperatures are being right now. So right now I'm in coastal North Carolina. Yesterday I was wearing tank top and shorts. And this is me today. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. This is the heartbreak zone. So today it's in the 50s, 40s at night, 30s. For the next 10 days, we're not supposed to get below freezing but 2 nights, and I expect us to get about 31 degrees those nights. But that is an indication that yes, we still have 2 months until our last frost date, but we're getting less and less of those really harsh colds. And so we got to find that happy medium, right? We got to slide in there and get it on. You guys are watching this, I know you want to know when you can start to grow, right? So what is the first thing that you plan on putting in your garden this year? Let us know in the comments below. It is no coincidence that we put broccoli in, because it is one of the hardiest of hardy plants that you can put in. And just to top it off, and we had to make sure that this was going to do well, so we added our gnome friend from another garden and put him in. But all jokes aside, this is a hardy crop. It can handle a frost. It can handle a light freeze. But there's one big caveat to all this. 1, it has to be established, and 2, it can't be an infant, all right? So right now, these plants, they have on them roughly 3 to 4 true leaves, so they're toddlers. So in this world, they're working out good. They're ready to go to an extent. But I am 100% prepared, if it gets cold, to add a low tunnel over it to protect it. That is the key to all of this right now. You've got to be prepared to do it, and you've got to be willing to take that step. And I am completely willing to take that step. Now, that is why, if you look at the rest of my garden, we have not totally done all of our gardens, because I'm taking it step by step, piece by piece. I'm being patient and I'm working with it. So, you know, I still got to get dirt for this bed. And just so you guys know, I've been saying it for like 2 months, but I got a bad back and I kind of messed it up recently. So it's getting better. So hopefully I can get that going. But that's going to be stage 2, right? So stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5. So you see, all these things are adding up. But I am completely prepared to come out here at the drop of a hat and cover this broccoli bed with a low tunnel. Now, that being said, I will not have to do that forever, because we got 2 things working in our favor right now. The first thing working in our favor is we're coming into spring. We're not coming into winter. We're coming into spring. So invariably your temperatures are going to be getting warmer and warmer. That doesn't mean that it's going to consistently get warmer. And you know your weather, you know where you live, you know what it means. But what I'm saying is eventually we're going to start getting warmer weather, and we're going to use this to our advantage. My grandmother always told me before she died, she signed her letters, T-A, ta, take advantage. And we're going to take advantage of this knowledge, and we're going to use it to our benefit. Based on my life story of my gardening career, what I know is in this area, come about February, we start getting warmer days, but we're still getting plenty cold. We may even get a cold snap. We may get freezing for a week straight, but we're going to come out of it. And then, you know, a month before our final frost date, which is March 1st to 15th, it really starts to change. You're starting to get a couple warmer nights. You may even get a night in the 50s, but then the next night it might be 28. You never know. So we're always going to be taking advantage of this, but we're going to be planting the entire time through this period. We're going to be starting with our hardiest crops, our broccoli, our cabbage. If you want to do kale, mustard, all of these things, you can put those in now. But there is going to be a time where we have to stop planting that. And then you can move on to the next thing, the next crop that's a little bit less hardy. And you're going to use all of this to your advantage, and you're going to get it in the ground. Come over here. By the way, look at that Brussels sprout, boy. Good night. That's looking good. But let's come over here and look at this cabbage real quick. Let me give you a little scenario, okay? This cabbage right here has made it through 16-degree weather. Yes, I did cover it, but it still made it through 16-degree weather, multiple nights of it as well. If I replant that and I put a seedling out tonight and it gets to 16 degrees, it will die. Done. It will not survive. If I give it a week and it gets to 28 degrees, it may make it. You know, it'll be a lot stronger. A little bit of cover goes a long way. And the bigger it gets, the stronger it gets, the more willing it is to get into the mode of growing during the cold, because we have acclimated our plants to this weather, right? So it's a slow step process. And that's why we start so early. That's why we start our seeds so early. That's why we plant so early, because we want to slow step it up. You know, I took advantage of the warm weather last week. Yes, last week. Sorry, I had to think in my head. And got things hardening off because I saw in the temperatures that it went up. But then we were going to stair step down and we're going to take it easy. And it's just like in the video where it's how early can you start your seeds. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to be able to tell you. You're the only one that's going to know because it's your area. You live there. I can't tell you when you can exactly put it in the ground. I can make you a seed starting schedule like I have been. Email below if you want one. But I still can't tell you when to plant it out. You need to know this stuff for a reason. This is part of being a gardener, a homesteader, a grower, farmers. You're going to know when to push the limits, but you're going to know how to push the limits. That's what's so important. People that are planting onions right now, these onions have been in the ground for 2 months. And there's people planting right now. You know why these have been in the ground for 2 months? Because I know my limitations, I know the plant's limitations, and I know what needs to be done, right? For instance, what do you see over this bed? You see low tunnel hoops, because I got scared. Bro man got scared, I had to add it. You know what I'm saying? I had to protect my babies. Did well. Did I have to? I don't know, but I was prepared to. And during this time of year, when it's very volatile, it is going to be in your best interest to err on the side of caution. But what's going to benefit out of this? When everybody else is in your area and they're struggling to get stuff started, you're going to be a month ahead of them. I guarantee you'll be a month ahead of them, because you will be protecting them, you'll be taking care of them, you'll be acclimating your plants, and you are going to be ahead of everybody else. I see it in my area all the time. I know somebody 4 houses up from me, have a huge garden, not a damn thing planted in it. When they are just now planting, I am harvesting, because I know my area, I know my weather, I pay attention to it, and I know the limitations of the plants that I'm growing. And that's what I hope for you, because that's going to tell you how early can you start to plant. So get your plants right, get your seeds right, and get yourself out there and get going, because you are going to be able to plant a lot earlier than you think, just like you can start seeds earlier than you think.